Today I thought it'd be fun to go ahead and rank my top 7 most powerful wizards. Since you guys seem to like my rankings episode on the top 5 most powerful witches in the Harry Potter universe, I thought I would go ahead and do the same for my wizards. If you have a rankings list, please drop it in the comments below. Would love to hear yours. Number 7 on my list, I gave to Remus Lupin. The reason I gave Remus Lupin the number 7 spot on my list is for a number of reasons. He was very capable in dueling. In the Battle of the Department of Mysteries, he was one of the only fighters to not be injured during combat. The only others were Albus Dumbledore and Harry Potter, who was not wounded. He was highly skilled in defense against the dark arts. He taught the position in 1993 at Hogwarts and was even skilled in knowledge and care for magical creatures, showing his depth of knowledge by teaching the students about dark creatures such as vampires, kappas, grindy lows, bogarts, and werewolves, which he himself was. He did face off directly against Lucius Malfoy, who is one of the leaders of the Death Eaters. He survived the Battle of the Astronomy Tower unscathed and the Battle of Seven Potters despite supporting an injured George Weasley. He was even skilled in charms. He helped create the Marauders map with the Marauders, James, Sirius, and Peter Pettigrew, and he was able to cast a Wolf Patronus, which was a corporeal Patronus. He even taught the Patronus charm to Harry Potter in 1993. Remus was known for having a diverse knowledge and arsenal of charms and spells. He was known for using the Bogart banishing spell, the Season Pull charm, the Pack charm, the freezing spell, freezing charm, shield charm, multiple counter spells, the bandaging charm, disarming charm, projectile jinx, mobilius corpus, knockback jinx, water heating spell, and handheld flames. He was also known for even healing magic. He was knowledgeable in transfiguration, even able to perform untransfiguration to change Peter Pettigrew back into a human if need be when he was working with the Marauders as a student. In 1994, he even conjured chains to bind Peter to Ron. He was capable of flying. He was actually a member of the advanced guard that escorted Harry from 4 Privet Drive in 1995 and could successfully apparate. In 1997, he showed this by apparating from 12 Grimmauld Place to escape Death Eaters. Also, another characteristic that I think is overlooked a lot with wizards and witches is indomitable willpower. This says something because it shows the witches and wizards perseverance that can aid them in overcoming circumstances. Remus Lupin showed this because he was able to overcome his lycanthropy and was a pivotal member still of the Order of the Phoenix. He eventually became the first werewolf to receive the Order of Merlin First Class, which is why on my list for these reasons I had to give Remus Lupin number 7. Number 6 on my list I gave to Sirius Black, who is actually Remus Lupin's close friend growing up. He was incredibly talented at transfiguration, and Sirius was able to take the form of a large black dog when he was an animagus. He was highly skilled in potion making, and in his 5th year was able to brew the animagus potion for James. He was highly skilled at charms, and with his friends helped create the Marauders map, one of those friends including Remus Lupin. He was known for the charm Mobile Corpus, Levitation Charm, Summoning Charm, Banishing Charm, Mending Charm, and Shield Charm. He could produce a non-corporeal Patronus, but that's impressive on its own. He was well versed in healing magic, care for magical creatures, and dueling. He was an original member of the Order of the Phoenix and did fight Antonin Dolohov into a standstill. Despite his recklessness, in my opinion, he probably could have beat Bellatrix, but he did fight Bellatrix one-on-one that eventually did lead to his death. But he was very intellectual and was able to escape Azkaban in the form of a large black dog in his animagus form. And this says a lot about his skill because Azkaban being guarded by Dementors, very few witches and wizards have ever escaped. For these reasons, I had to put Sirius Black as number 6 on my list for most powerful wizards. Number 5 on my list for the most powerful wizards in the Harry Potter universe is Aleister Moody, also known as Mad-Eye Moody. He is considered to be one of the most famous and most powerful Aurors of all time, and a pivotal member of the Order of the Phoenix. He completed the concealment and disguise, as well as the stealth and tracking portions of Auror training. He is trusted by the Ministry with the most important missions, and he personally made sure that half the cells of Azkaban were filled with Death Eaters during the First Wizarding War. Aleister Moody personally placed powerful enchantments and curses on the headquarters of the Order of the Phoenix to ward off Death Eaters. He mentored Nymphadora Tonks, who became a skilled Auror herself, and he was a skilled duelist, one of the best in combat. He single-handedly dueled Igor Karkaroff, Ivar Rozier, and Antonin Dolohov. He defeated Death Eaters with non-verbal spells, where he didn't have to use magic. He was highly skilled in defense against the dark arts, received outstanding and exceeds expectations in all Owls and Newt's exams. Dumbledore personally hired him to teach defense against the dark arts during Harry Potter's 4th year. Exceptional skills included were knowledge in dark creatures, and he personally even volunteered to get rid of the boggart for Molly Weasley. He was very skilled in dark magic, which can be shown with his attempt to teach students unforgivable curses during Harry's 4th year. However, even though this is ultimately debatable because it was really Barty Crouch Jr. disguised as Aleister during Harry Potter's 4th year. He was very skilled in charms as well. He received at least an exceeds expectation on his Owls and Newts. He performed successfully the disillusionment charm that would camouflage targets, as well as the boggart banishing spell, and could even produce a non-corporeal Patronus, which is impressive on its own. He was highly skilled in transfiguration. An example of this can be shown when he transformed Draco Malfoy into a ferret during Harry Potter's 4th year, even though it can be debatable because that was really Barty Crouch Jr. disguised as Aleister. He was highly skilled in potions. He received at least an exceeds expectation on his Owls and Newts, and displayed this by creating the Polyjuice potion during the Battle of Seven Potters. He was skilled in herbology, received at least an exceeds expectations on his Owls and Newts in this as well. He could successfully apparate and was skilled in flying, and he showed this as an acting member of the Advanced Guard during the Battle of Seven Potters. He was capable of wandless and nonverbal magic, and showed great leadership and teaching skills. Number 4 on my list, Severus Snape. Severus Snape, the reason he took easily the number 4 on my list, one big reason is his magical mastery. Even Sirius Black claimed that Severus Snape knew more about the dark arts than half of the 7th years at Hogwarts during his time. He was acknowledged by fellow professors and Voldemort for his prowess. He even created his own spells, such as Sectum Sempra. He was a potions master, hence he was the Half-Blood Prince. He completed potions such as Wolfbane, Veritasiarum, the Mandrake Restorative Drought, and the Polyjuice Potion, and more. He was gifted in the dark arts. He was known for creating hexes, not just spells, and also jinxes. He was also capable of performing killing curses, which he even showed during Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Highly skilled in defense against the dark arts, Snape eventually became the Defense Against the Dark Arts professor and taught this class at a Newt level after admiring the position for years. He was highly skilled at dueling. He helped teach the 1992 dueling club with Gilderoy Lockhart, and in Deathly Hallows was able to hold his own in a duel one-on-one against Minerva McGonagall. He was highly skilled in occlumency and legilimency. He proved this by hiding secrets from Voldemort for years and teaching Harry Potter occlumency during his years at Hogwarts. Severus was very gifted in transfiguration as well. He could perform the vanishing spell and incarcerus spell. He used the vanishment spell when Harry conjured a snake against Malfoy in 1992, and used the incarcerus spell to bind Sirius Black in 1994. He was very skilled in charms. Snape could conjure a full corporeal Patronus, which was a doe that can only be conjured with those that show love. This was shown in the novel and film of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. Snape was a gifted flyer as well. He shown this in the Battle of Seven Potters and was even a referee for Quidditch matches. He showed perseverance and extreme willpower that I think is overlooked many times by secretly working for Dumbledore for years against Voldemort. He was capable of wandless and nonverbal magic, highly skilled in healing magic, which he shown with his own spell that he created, Volnera Sanator, and used it in a song-like incantation to heal Malfoy from an offensive spell he created, Sectum Sempra, that Harry Potter used during his 6th year. He was capable of apparition, and showed this by disapparating away from Hogwarts in 1997 after the Battle of the Astronomy Tower, and he was also skilled in alchemy. I think it is no contest on my list for these reasons that Snape takes the number 4 spot of the most powerful wizards in the Harry Potter universe. Number 3, Gellert Grindelwald. Gellert Grindelwald takes the number 3 spot on my list. Second to Voldemort, he is considered the most powerful and notorious dark wizard of all time. He is able to wield the Elder Wand, and he only lost it to Dumbledore during a one-on-one battle. Quote, in a list of the most dangerous and dark wizards of all time, that would most take the top spot, only because you know who arrived a generation later to steal his crown. This is in the life and lives of Albus Dumbledore. He was capable of magical mastery and was near evenly matched with Albus Dumbledore himself. In the duel with Albus, it was also recalled as one of the most famous duels of all time. Some even consider it the most famous duel of all time, the one in 1945. He single-handedly almost destroyed Paris. He could use dark, unforgivable curses that many wizards couldn't even use. He used the Cruciatus curse against Aberforth Dumbledore and was proficient in the Killing Curse. He was able to conjure Protego Diabolica during the Battle of the Lestrange Mausoleum in 1927, which killed multiple Aurors. It took the combined efforts of Nicholas Flamel, Newt, Theseus Scamander, Tina Goldstein, and Yusuf Kama to dispel it. He had an intellectual genius and knowledge of necromancy, which only some of the most dark wizards can even have knowledge of. He showed extreme charisma and leadership. He had a highly talented at influencing others and sparked one of the biggest uprisings of all time, which caused a global wizarding war. He was extremely well versed in magical law. Dueling, it is said that only Albus Dumbledore and Voldemort ever surpassed his ability. He was talented in defense against the dark arts and could cast stunning spells and shield charms with ease. He was highly skilled in charms. Albus Dumbledore even noted that both he and Grindelwald could efficiently render themselves invisible without needing the use of an invisibility cloak. Most likely, this was done with the disillusionment charm. He could also produce a non-corporeal Patronus. He had magical abilities with elemental magical mastery. This is shown by controlling Protego Diabolica in the Lestrange Mausoleum when he was able to turn it into a type of beast, dragon, or demon-like figure. He had knowledge of care for magical creatures, knowledge of healing magic. He was highly skilled in transfiguration and made himself a replica of Percival Graves without the use of the Polyjuice potion. He could apparate successfully with pinpoint accuracy, and he was highly skilled in occlumency. He even had knowledge of the deep history of magic and was very familiar with the Deathly Hallows and wand lore, which made him an expert in magical mastery. He studied ancient runes, was highly skilled in divination, and was a seer, and was capable of wandless and nonverbal magic. For this, Gellert Grindelwald gets the number 3 spot on my list of most powerful wizards in the Harry Potter universe. The number 2 spot on my list should not come as a surprise. He is known as the most powerful, skilled dark wizard of all time, and one of the most powerful wizards to have ever lived. Tom Riddle, aka Lord Voldemort, he who must not be named. He is considered to be second to only Albus Dumbledore. He is the only dark wizard to ever surpass Gellert Grindelwald. He had magical mastery. He performed magic that most witches and wizards thought impossible. Hence, he created his own Horcruxes. He went toe-to-toe with Albus Dumbledore in the Ministry Atrium. He was highly skilled in the dark arts, phenomenally accomplished. He raised an army of Inferi using necromancy. He mastered 3 unforgivable curses. He was able to control fiend fire against Albus Dumbledore, which is very extremely difficult. This can be shown by Crabbe was unable to control it in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. He made the enchantment potion on the Drink of Despair that not even Dumbledore could fully overcome. He crafted the spell that required the blood sacrifices well in order to enter the cave in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. Not only did he duel Albus Dumbledore one-on-one, he also was able to match Minerva McGonagall, Kingsley Shacklebolt, and Horace Slughorn. Potions that he personally created besides the Drink of Despair were the Regeneration Potion and the Rudimentary Body Potion. Charms, he was skilled in the Disillusionment Charm, the Summoning Charm that allows you to levitate objects, the Amplifying Charm, the Silencing Charm, and the Shield Charm. He also did have, just like Gellert Grindelwald, an elemental magical mastery, hence his manipulation of fiend fire against Albus Dumbledore when he conjured it into a snake-like creature. He was highly skilled in memory modification and showed this by extracting information from Bertha Jorkins. He could successfully apparate. He showed high levels of magic at a young age, which showed magical natural talent, highly skilled in occlumency and legilimency. He even contained the power of possession and showed this by possessing Quirrell in Harry Potter in his 5th year at Hogwarts. He was capable of Parseltongue, which he inherited this from Salazar Slytherin. He could fly on a broomstick and even had immortality. Transfiguration. He transfigured Dumbledore's fire rope into a black snake. He even conjured Peter Pettigrew a silver forearm. He showed talent for defense against the dark arts at a young age and achieved a high score on his newts and owls. He was capable of spell creation and created the spell Mors Mordra, which conjured the dark mark in the sky. He was capable of wandless and nonverbal magic, skilled in alchemy, and had wand versatility. He used different wands. He eventually was able to use the Elder Wand. He had the power of intimidation and intellectual charisma, and showed this by influencing Death Eaters and causing an uprising which sparked the First and Second Wizarding Wars. He had extreme indomitable willpower. Even after being almost killed by the curse that rebounded, he caused the Second Wizarding War. Even his name has inspired fear in wizards and witches, in which some still refer to him as you-know-who, or he who must not be named. The clear-cut number 1 on my list should come as no surprise. Albus Dumbledore, also known as the Supreme Mugwump and Chief Warlock. He was capable of magical mastery. At his first year at Hogwarts, Dumbledore was already known to be outstandingly talented for the magical arts. Some even referred to him as the most student Hogwarts had ever seen. He taught defense against the dark arts and was former head of the Department of Magical Law Enforcement. Successfully, he defeated Gellert Grindelwald and claimed the Elder Wand, also known as the Death Stick, the most powerful wand in the Wizarding universe. He taught Transfiguration and became head of the Transfiguration Department and eventually headmaster of Hogwarts. He was consistently sought after for the Minister of Magic position, but refused to take it. He overcame Voldemort, the most powerful dark wizard of all time, in the duel at the Ministry of Magic. He successfully tracked down and destroyed Voldemort's Horcruxes that Voldemort personally created and hid himself. He had an intellectual genius. He successfully came up with plans to defeat the two most powerful dark wizards of all time that were Gellert Grindelwald and Lord Voldemort. He had extreme charisma and had a major influence over others as being headmaster of Hogwarts. He had superb teaching abilities and leadership, showed leadership by establishing the Order of the Phoenix. Extremely skilled in dueling, he was known as being a duelist of unrivaled skill, defeated Gellert Grindelwald, winning him the Elder Wand, and went face-to-face with Voldemort, and was even referred to as the only one Voldemort ever feared. Dumbledore excelled in charms, so much that Professor Marchbanks stated that Dumbledore on his Newt's exam did things with a wand that she had never seen before. He was the winner of Barnabas Finkley Prize for exceptional spellcasting. He earned the title of Grand Sorcerer. He was known for his apparition skills, known for the disillusionment charm, wand lighting charm, silencing charm, confundus charm, slowing charm, human presence revealing charm, unlocking charm, fidelis charm, reviving charm, puritotum locomotor, and he even personally enchanted the Mirror of Erised to only give the Philosopher's Stone, also known as the Sorcerer's Stone, to a person who wished to find it but not use it. He was able to cast a powerful age line, which is shown in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. He performed the snake vanishing spell at the duel of the Ministry Atrium. Quote, Dumbledore brandished his wand in one long fluid movement. The snake, which had been an instant from sinking its fangs into him, flew higher into the air and vanished in a whip of dark smoke. He could produce a full corporeal Patronus, which is one of the most rare Patronuses ever known to exist, the Phoenix. Dumbledore was also adept in both occlumency and legilimency, and even taught lessons personally to Harry Potter himself. Dumbledore was capable of wandless and non-verbal magic at ease. Dumbledore was very talented in dark arts, however, was not active as a practitioner of it. He was well versed in identifying dark magic such as Horcruxes, dark curses, and he showed this in 1992 when Miss Norris was petrified in Harry Potter's second year. Dumbledore was known for creating spells. He invented the Deluminator, also known as the Put-Outer, if you read the Sorcerer's Stone or Philosopher's Stone. This was put to use many times during the Harry Potter series, which removed light sources from surroundings. He had an elemental magical mastery. He could manipulate the elements, especially fire. One of his most famous cases of this was when he casted Firestorm in the cave with Harry in Harry Potter's 6th year. A quote directly from Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince is as follows: Dumbledore was on his feet again, pale as any of the surrounding in fury, but taller than any two, the fire dancing in his eyes. His wand raised like a torch, and from its tip emanated the flames, like a vast lasso encircling them all with warmth. Dumbledore even mastered foreign magical languages. For example, mermaids spoke Mermish, and he spoke to the mermaids in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. He also spoke Gobbledygook, which was the language of the goblins, and he could recognize Posseltongue and could understand it. He is considered one of the most famous wizards for expertise in alchemy. He discovered the 12 ways to use dragon's blood, particularly as a cleaner and potion ingredient. He even had expertise in magical law. He had knowledge of care for magical creatures, hence Fawkes was extremely loyal to him, and he had excellent knowledge of the history of magic. He had knowledge in astronomy, divination, Muggle studies, and herbology. He was accomplished in healing magic, and shown this by temporarily was able to control the immensely powerful curse from Marvolo Gaunt's ring. He was very skilled in flying. He showed this in Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince when him and Harry flew from Hogsmeade to the astronomy tower on brooms, and he knew the magical power of a loving sacrifice, which gave him an extreme advantage during the Wizarding War. He had extreme versatility in wand lore and knowledge about magical history. This was shown with his knowledge about the Deathly Hallows, and he was the personal wielder of the Elder Wand after gaining it in a duel from Gellert Grindelwald. He had extreme indomitable willpower. He was a major factor in stopping the two most powerful dark wizards of all time, and was able to personally establish the Order of the Phoenix. For these reasons, in my opinion, it's no contest that Albus Dumbledore takes the number one spot as the most powerful wizard in the Harry Potter universe. If you have a rankings list, please drop it in the comments below. Would love to hear it. If you would like to know more about Harry Potter and other fantasy fiction, subscribe to Chase and Josh Factor Fantasy Podcast. The link is in the bio. Have a magical week.